lots of these films tackle very personal subjects. Not a lot have explored genre. Like and I remember there was a year where there were some attempts at making horror or comedy and thriller films.
Yeah.
But the majority is usually drama and films that tackle personal stories.
Qatartainment used to be live streams. No,
But that's a huge risk.
Yeah.
You can't get away. Yeah, it's live. You know what you say stays.
Yeah, what you say stays. I mean, sure, you could edit it afterwards using certain
But that's a
editing tools.
Yeah.
But then you got to go through the
Editing process.
editing process, and you got to get the right timestamps. So, but it will ruin the video after.
There is this one game that I have in mind, and that is right now like what I'm playing and thinking about a lot.
All right.
It's not gonna be favorite game of all time.
Right.
But recent past.
Yeah, so it would have to be Metaphor Rifantasio.
So,
Hello.
welcome, Salman.
Hello, Allah. Thank you,
All right,
guys.
we appreciate you coming to our podcast. You were really one of the first fans who actually appreciates our work, and the fact that you are in the film industry here in Qatar. I thought you would be one of the perfect people we should have on our podcast. Not to mention you being a geek.
Yeah.
After we spoke, it gave me the motivation to actually invite you over to our podcast, and here you are a few days later.
Right.
I mean,
Thank you
amazing.
so much.
It's
I mean, I'm always trying to stay up to date with what's going on in Doha. And I saw your platform. I'm like, okay, these guys have been doing cool stuff for a while now. I think I saw your setup during one of the Geekdom events, and the name stuck in my head. So
Of course, it's Qatartainment.
yes, it's unique. It's unique. So I thought, okay, let me sneak my way in, and here I am.
Oh yeah, that's after tagging us with one post.
I mean, it's all about like making sure that people know that this thing exists.
Oh yeah.
And because like my network is usually people who are working in the, let's say, production side of Doha.
Yeah.
Whether it's other production companies or my colleagues at work, or even people that we meet internationally, people who come to visit us. I feel like, let's put a spotlight on these guys, or you guys.
So what's happening? What's cooking in the filming circuit of Doha?
Yeah, what's happening in the kitchen?
Yeah. Can you take it through it?
Okay, so I feel like it's worth to have a little history when it comes to specifically film in Doha. I'm sure you know the first cinema in Doha was many years ago.
Yes.
Doha or Gulf?
It was actually in Khan cinema. Actually, I don't remember the name exactly, but it was an effort by the petroleum company at the time.
Okay.
To cater to the employees and the people living in Khan.
The workforce, basically.
But also at the same time, this is something my father told me. Where we're from, Al Khor.
We're both Almuhannadis, by the way.
Yeah,
right.
represent.
Hell yeah.
So in Al Khor,
I'm moving there in a couple of years, by the way.
really, you need to go back to the motherland.
Yeah, it's a thing. They told me they can only give me a piece of land only there.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna go through that soon.
You're gonna go through that?
Yeah. I'm
good.
pretty sure it's gonna be in Al Khor as well.
I'll tell you one thing: you cannot switch now. Switch with another Muhannadi.
Yeah, so
First established.
yeah.
What year can you?
We need to just fact check this. I don't have the year on top of my head.
Just a ballpark.
Fact check. Go ahead.
Just an idea.
Probably like maybe in like before the 70s, maybe like during the oil field days.
Okay.
I think Qatar Museums did a post about it. First cinema in Qatar.
I keep wondering.
Should I ask ChatGPT about this?
Go ahead. I mean, that's the only fact check we can get.
It was actually the first screenings began in the 1950s.
Wow.
Okay, so besides cinemas, we can talk about like first movie.
Okay.
So in the modern era, the first Qatari film is called Clockwise, or بالعربي عقارب الساعة.
Okay.
It was directed by Khalifa al-Maraikhi, if the name is actually correct. Khalifa al-Mraikhi directed عقارب الساعة, and that was kind of like the first mature attempt at making a feature film. It screened in theaters. I remember I attended a few screenings actually. Wanted to watch it multiple times. The thing is, it did not do any commercial success.
Okay.
I think there's a disconnect between Qataris and like Qatari films.
Okay.
Because like I feel like people got used to seeing like international franchises.
And just to sorry to cut you in between.
No,
When which year was this? When did this
was
happen?
in the early 2010s.
Well, the
Yeah,
people
yeah.
were aware about the international cinemas back then. So
The Fast and Furious movies,
that
and, you know what I
backfired,
mean?
yeah,
Mission
that
Impossible and
backfired.
all of that.
Yes.
You know, franchises, they're just they're going to take over whether we like it or not.
Yeah, and it has a huge selling point. يعني if I'm a cinema attendee, if I'm watching a movie and I see a poster for like an international film, that's gonna be more appealing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there's a lot of trust.
Plus the quality that they are producing, they are far ahead in that.
Of course,
in that
it's
area.
the production value is
Too
incredible.
Too high, yes.
But as a person who has worked in film, I feel like I am obligated to at least see what's going on. It was an interesting attempt actually to, if watching it now, with the lens of let's see what's coming out of Qatar. I feel like it's going to be very interesting to watch it from that angle. If you're going to watch it like entertain me,
Yes,
it's not gonna hit, to be honest. But I feel like it's worth a watch.
If you want to go and see what Qatar is actually doing, you want to get an idea of what is happening right now. So it's the best point to start.
I believe so. You start there, and then unfortunately there is no other feature films from Qatar, but what you can do is watch other Qatari short films.
Okay.
I feel like that is maybe a more indicator of what's going on in Doha.
Okay.
Because you get to see these young filmmakers trying to express themselves through film. Lots of these films tackle very personal subjects. Not a lot have explored genre. And I remember there was a year where there were some attempt at making horror or comedy and thriller films, but the majority is usually drama and films that tackle personal stories from these filmmakers.
But if you compare it, but if you compare it, like for example, the theaters. You know, back then we used to do a lot of theater.
There used to be a lot of I feel like until today the theater movement in Doha is very active. Every year there is the Ministry of Culture, I believe, hosts some sort of theater festival, and a lot of people participate, and there's cash prizes for the winners. It's being supported, it's alive, but I feel like if you're a person who grew up on pop culture, you're exposed to international productions of theater, and you wouldn't like what's happening in Doha when it comes to theater, because I feel like the type of acting is different, the type of stories are different, the production quality, I wouldn't say quality, the production value is less than what's out there. And if you watch Wicked or like all these international plays, there's absolutely no way to compare. It's very homegrown, grassroots movement. It's still, I feel like, modest, but it is on par with what's happening in the Gulf, like Kuwait, Bahrain, Saudi, Emirat. They also have theater movements going on, and they kind of like visit each other and compete.
But what you've given as examples, they're basically musicals.
Not so. Musicals are what they usually do for what they call children theater.
Of course.
I personally don't go to a lot of theater kind of productions or plays in Doha. It's not something that I like. I've only recently been to international kind of like theater in let's say Chicago, New York, or London. I've seen the Book of Mormon and the Lion King.
Oh, the one in London?
Yes.
Yeah, I saw that one too.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's magnificent.
Oh yeah.
But that is one of the best plays on planet Earth.
I know.
So like
literally was there
Streetcar named Desire.
Do you know how long it's been there? ever since the 90s.
Yeah, it's running for
it's
quite some
been-
time now.
Yeah, it's been there
The
for
Cats also in US. Cats is running on
Catch.
Cats.
Cats. Oh yeah, I haven't seen. I've seen Hamilton actually in
It's
Chicago.
Hamilton. Yes,
yeah.
Hamilton is quite
It was.
famous
It
too.
was. It's about American history, but to them it's very important. But there's some creative liberties that they've taken to some of the
So
storylines.
coming back to the industries, what
Yes.
question pops out in my mind? See, in order to tell your story out to the public and make people engaging, you should have a very great storyline. Now, what my opinion on this is, see, for example, Iranian cinema, they are not that developed too, but once in a blue moon, they get some stories which touches your heart, like Children of Heaven, won an Oscar. It was such a beautiful story of a brother and sister. So why can't, like, as I've been in Qatar, I feel close to the cinema here
Yeah.
also. I watch other cinemas of other countries as well as Saudi or Bahrain or Kuwait. So why are we not moving with that pace, or we don't have that kind of storytelling that we should
this
have?
is a very good question. From my view, so first thing is the population.
Okay.
We as Qataris are very small,
Yeah.
and also expats who live in Doha are also small compared to other countries. So the number of people who get into film is even smaller. So that's one thing. Second thing, in Iran, they have developed their own way of telling stories, but at the same time they have a huge or kind of like rich history of literature. Whether it's novelists, authors, writers.
Yeah, they have.
So I feel like that to them is a natural progression. So to move from literature to film, and they deal with it similar to poetry. Like their films are very poetic.
Yes.
Rarely you see kind of like thrillers or like
Yes, I know.
all these kinds of genre films. To them, it's very American.
Yes.
So they do it their own way. So when it comes to us, احنا في الدوحة, so a lot of people who are making films have grown up watching, Jurassic Park,
Yes.
and
True,
Spielberg
true,
movies
true,
and all
yes.
of that. So there is this,
Influence from that. part.
there is influence from American cinema, and there's always this hope, like, okay, I want to make something crazy,
Okay.
but then the reality hits them that it's extremely difficult
Very
to do
difficult.
something
Yes,
like that.
agree. Totally agree.
So they enroll in programs, under the DFI, and then they get support, and they try to make their first first film. And making a film is a collaborative effort.
Yes,
It
obviously.
does not rely on one person. And we see a lot of people who make one film and then kind of like decide to move away.
They disappear. Yes.
Yeah, and it's hard to make a living making films because
Mm.
there is no commercial revenue from that.
Since it's a developing thing right now.
It's developing in
Yes.
short films. It's something that you make to enter festivals, or think of it like an artist statement.
On a very relative people
Yeah,
can see
you
it.
start small. Yes, you might win some festivals. You get some cash. Okay, that could be a motivation, but still, that's not enough. And I feel like as a region, we're looking at what's happening in Saudi.
Yeah.
You have their box offices that making a lot
Yes.
of money, so to them it makes sense
They are
to
investing a
invest
lot in
and
that
then
part.
get your return of investment.
Mm.
But here we haven't transitioned to box office yet. Inshallah soon.
I mean, look at their platform, Shahid, for example.
Hmm.
That is literally the biggest content consumer in
Yes.
Saudi.
Yeah,
Mm.
and films.
Without a
Some
doubt.
films go directly to streaming.
Yeah, to streaming,
Yeah, like Naga, I believe. I don't know if you guys watch Naga on Netflix. Made by Mish'al Jasser. He's been popular on YouTube for making his sketch comedy clips, and then he evolved from sketch comedy to actually drama stories, and then now he made his feature film that went straight to Netflix. It's a
Oh.
controversial film. It's worth a watch. Saudi cinema is actually something very interesting to watch these days. It's all over Netflix. I think that's my phone vibrating.
No, that's
No,
fine.
But it's
no
fine.
problem, no problem.
But
But yeah, Saudi cinema is amazing to watch. on Netflix. There's
there's too much
more than
content for
5.
them, yes.
Yani honestly, the first thing to start, I believe, I would actually tell you to watch Al Hamur. Al Hamur is basically if you take the plot of Wolf of Wall Street
Okay,
and you put it in our region.
that's interesting.
Yeah, and it looks similar. Like even if you watch the trailer, it's the
Okay,
same.
the cinematography and everything, it's nearby. These kept it.
Yeah,
nearby.
they're trying to have good production value, but then the approach is, the sell is Saudi Wolf of Wall Street. I mean, it doesn't go into extremes like Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah, that's too
But
much.
it's similar where you have this guy who come from like a specific background and he gets into this lucrative business of this one thing and he makes money from it and then he has a lavish lifestyle and then he gets hunted. Yeah, it's the plot of Wolf of Wall Street, but it's reskinned. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. Lots of people say that's negative, but I feel that's a good way to start, because as a viewer you want to see something familiar but different, and I feel like maybe that's a good way. I mean, it's the only film I feel like that has done that from Saudi.
I mean, you gotta admit, you'd at least want to watch a clean movie sometimes.
Yes,
every now
obviously.
and
No,
then.
it's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
at all
They have a lot of
violent, so
those.
yeah.
Oh yeah, because think of it this way: Wolf of Wall Street, as its own, sure, there's a lot of nudity in there, a lot of
other stuff which you cannot see with your family, or you can
exactly.
watch.
You
Yeah,
can
yeah, yeah.
like, let's say at least 75% of the movie
Yes.
is unwatchable.
It's R-rated, yeah.
You know,
I mean, depending on the audience.
exactly. So if you get something that's similar to it but clean, like let's say you can go wild but not too wild. You know,
Being in your neighborhood or your area of living, it connects with people much
like
better
you can
with this style.
like let's say you can party without the, let's say, drugs or
Yeah.
alcohol, whatever. You get a clean version of Wolf of Wall Street, but at least there is some form of extreme.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But that's part of the selling point of that type of film, is that extreme, because like, again, people watch films to be entertained in their free time, and do you want to be educated in, you know what I mean? But again, it's important to have diversity in types of content. So like, you can have your clean stories or stories that are like modest, as they say, and then you also have the adult
sometimes you
types of stories.
sometimes you want that kind of comedy, like slapstick comedy. People are falling and you're laughing. It's not every time the humor is dark humor or something.
Yeah.
You want to have a light laugh, so you watch a slapstick comedy once in a while.
Yeah, I feel like Qatar fills that. Qatar is the Saudi film that talks about this man who is a fan of wrestling,
Okay.
and he gets into situation where he gets into actual underground Saudi wrestling.
Okay.
It's so refreshing to see, because it's their own take of like what wrestling is in Saudi.
So
but
it's a comedy genre.
Yeah. It's comedy.
that's
It's comedy. It's interesting. Like what they're doing over there in Saudi, it's really cool. And I think it's. I feel like if you're a movie goer, you like to watch films, give it a shot. What kind of films are coming out of Saudi?
Might be worth it.
Yeah.
I mean, and not to mention when you mentioned commercial value in terms of the films. Remember when we had Abdurrahman Al-Mani?
Yes.
Yeah, a few months back. Yeah, we had
local filmmaker. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a local filmmaker here. We had him as a guest. He did explain some of the creative and production process and how to make a feature film here in Qatar. Now, he did mention, of course, the difficulties that he faced before and still will be facing.
Yeah, it's very expensive to produce a film in Doha, mainly because the creative, or let's say production industry in Doha is reliant on commercial work, because that is the sustainable model. Yes, let's say you are going to make a feature film. How much are you going to spend on it? The cost of cameras, crew, cast, extras, all of that.
The permits that you need to take to shoot outdoors.
Yeah, that is a logistical situation. I wouldn't say, I don't want to say nightmare. It's like some sort of situation there. It's going to be, inshallah, not resolved, at least looked at seriously. And with, you have Media City now in Doha supporting the production industry.
If it eases the process,
It does.
don't care what it's called. As soon as it eases the
Yeah. They're there
thing.
to support any type of production, creative industry in general.
because we have talent. It's not like we don't have talent or storytellers, but
Not to mention,
this thing should develop at such a pace since other countries in this region they are just running in this field right now. Like you said, Saudi is developing so much, UAE is expensing so much in this. We should also go on that pace.
iHeartRadio is actually
they mentioned it. It's with the GCO.
they're collaborating with the Ministry of, I don't know.
I think it's the Government Communications Office. We need to fact check all of this.
No problem.
But it was mentioned in the Web Summit,
Yes.
right? That iHeartRadio, which
yes.
is like an international podcast platform,
Okay.
is collaborating with, I think, either communications or the Ministry of Culture.
Okay.
Right?
So that's a great initiative.
To actually make some sort of a big time podcast studio for podcasters here in Qatar.
Yeah, it came in the newspapers too.
Yeah. This was actually quite interesting for content creators and podcasters as well as production people, that they should be reaching out for more support.
Yes.
The issue is the ability to reach out can get a bit dry. You don't. I mean, and I assume you agree with me on this, right?
Yeah, it's usually, Doha, it's always better to literally show up.
Yeah, but people are not educated about it that much. I've seen is there are resources available,
Yeah.
but
Yes.
people are not educated how to use those channels.
Yeah, I feel like once they have the systems in place, it's
Yes.
going to be some sort of wide
Proper
spread
walkthrough how to
Yeah.
use the services.
Yeah, because I know they have been kind of like doing the restructuring internally,
Okay.
and things are going to be clearer for them soon.
And it seems like the system is, I think, rigged in a way so that you can, or you have to, if you don't mind me saying, make a mistake.
Is this the recording? Can we say this? No, but I get what you mean. Like, sometimes you feel like maybe things are against you, but I feel like, the fact that you're still doing this is like a testament that you're taking things into your own hands.
Yes.
And that is a feat that is not to be taken lightly. This is impressive. Like the fact that being able to be consistent, it's not very easy. A lot of people start and fail and stop, but having the grit and willpower to
And this is like we want to take to the
we've
people.
gotten
We
over
want to
it.
show people that Qatar is also not lagging behind. Obviously, we are there.
We've got over 100 podcast episodes. That's literally a TV show.
over
Yes,
100.
yes.
100.
We have
This is
created century.
episode number what now?
This will be 102.
Okay.
So we have done century.
That's literally three or
this
four
is
seasons.
really cool. And usually, what's the what's the maximum length that you would go for?
We have
For
done
your
2
podcast?
hours.
Duration?
Yes.
Oh,
We
man.
have done 2 hours also.
3 hours, actually.
3 hours also.
But that was before we. You see, when we did the conversations can get very long, and
Of course.
yeah, it was the longest podcast I think we've ever done was episode 4 or 5
Oh,
when
Yeah,
you still remember episode 4?
Well,
There are 102 episodes.
I started this.
Yes. Okay.
What do you
Yeah. It's your baby.
Oh yeah. So and the discussion, you're gonna like this. It was the boys.
Oh yes,
The
yeah,
show.
I've seen, yeah.
Okay.
We all love here
That's
the boys.
a super
Yes,
R-rated
yes.
show.
Yeah, but we discussed literally the differences between the comics and,
And
the,
the
show.
show.
Oh.
Now I know
I've heard the show is kind of like doing better than the.
But
Yeah.
the comics, they have shown only 60% in the series. The comics are much worse, and believe me.
Worse.
Yes.
Like more
The
graphic,
level-
يعني?
Oh, yeah.
The level that they have shown in the comics, it's mind-boggling. Like you doubt that guy, the creator, Kripke, that what kind of brain he has,
And-
or what depth he thinks of.
And I've seen
These
some
things.
stuff that's in the comics that was never even done between certain characters in the show. They didn't want to put in that dynamic or that situation.
So it seems like they're going on a different direction.
Oh,
Yeah.
they're going on different directions.
Because he's the
in terms of-
creator, he wrote the comics, so he's writing the screenplay as well.
Okay.
Fun fact: do you know this? The role of the protagonist, the main guy, Huey, was supposed to be done by his father, who's playing his father.
Yeah.
That role was written for him.
You can
The
even
guy
know-
from
if you
the British
if you
actor
go, yeah
who plays the father. What's his name? Simon Pegg.
yeah, Simon Pegg.
It was
Simon
written for
Pegg-
him.
He
Yeah.
was supposed to
But
play
by the
Huey.
time it got
Actually,
into development,
his
he got
look-
old, so they gave him the father's role.
His look, the one in the
Simon
com-
Pegg looks closer to the comic
Same, yeah.
character.
Yes.
He's the same guy.
Actually, they based it on the comic character. They based his look for the comic character.
Oh, so they were thinking about Simon Pegg from the
Yeah,
beginning.
for whole time.
Then they did, and of course, if you heard this one called, what's it called? Diablo something?
Diabolical.
Diabolical.
The spin-off
Yeah,
animation.
the anime.
One of the anthology animations there had had Huey as a British guy.
Which is more
Simon
in
Pegg.
line.
Comic
with-
accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
Okay.
comic character.
I didn't know. I didn't watch Diabolical, to be honest.
I've read the whole comic part.
Okay.
Yeah, from A to Z. I think that's 53 issues.
Okay.
3 issues.
Yeah, 103. Sorry,
103.
Mhm.
Damn.
So I've read- I've read all
Does it come in volumes?
volumes. Yeah, 103 volumes. Matlab, it's
Volumes.
no books. 103 books. Not volume. One volume, 103 books.
Is it like 200 pages per book?
No, it's like 60 pages. But there are backstories for Billy, Butcher, Frenchie. Everyone has some backstory, and they are very in depth.
Okay.
How they are in the series, how
got
they made,
together.
how Mother Milk came to be that name.
Can you bring some of them tomorrow, or like one of them tomorrow? I'd like to give it a read.
Sure.
You got the.
I got the PDF. I'll send it to you.
No, I don't want a PDF. I want the hardcover.
I don't have the hardcover.
Okay. Oh, you
I have
suck,
the
man. You suck.
That's why I'm friends with you.
Oh, yeah, sure. He knows I like him, but
That's a bank of
it's
you.
turning into
Yeah,
like
but-
an intervention.
But that
more.
4 hours,
No,
4 hours is very
more.
less to talk about the boys. Also, it's too much in depth.
Well,
but yeah, coming back to
So it was literally that was the longest episode we've ever
Yeah.
done before, and this was during the days when we were doing it live.
Live.
yeah,
Live.
Yeah.
As I mentioned, Qatartainment used to be live streams. No,
But that's a huge risk.
Yeah.
You can't get away. Yeah.
yeah.
It's live. You know what you say stays.
yeah. What you say stays. I mean,
Yeah.
sure, you could edit it afterwards
Yeah.
using certain
But that's
editing
a headache.
tools.
Yeah.
But then you got to go through the
Editing process.
timestamp.
editing
and
process, and you got to get the right timestamp. So, but it will ruin the video after.
Yeah, but يعني, it depends on how you look at it, because like you can go for like authenticity,
Yes.
but you can also look at it from like an editorial perspective. Like, do you want to ensure that everything or everyone is on point? You know, you want to leave out some parts that were like maybe redundant. You know what I mean?
True. You never know.
Yeah,
Honestly, you
It
never
depends
know.
on like what you guys decide. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Our process was much more different. We've done a lot of things in the past that has been changed all over the years, honestly. First, we used to do lives. Next, also, we used to have very long episodes.
Yeah.
Now we try to trim it down to like an hour or something.
So now there is an editorial process where let's
Oh yeah.
let's chop it down. Okay.
Oh yeah. We.
Trust me, we have come a long way.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this will be chopped.
no.
oh no. This will be clipped. By,
Okay.
So that'd be like literally we'll put it as a clip, and then it'll have your face next to my face, and maybe his face will be gone. I don't
Maybe.
know. Oh yeah. And like it'll be one of those trending AI.
What if I
caption-
actually do something that must be chopped?
That's up to our director. That's up to our director.
This
I'm
is the
smiling
looking at the camera
challenge.
right
He's
now. I'm looking
smiling.
at the camera right now. That's up to our director. There was from time to time I actually had to take over, so we don't lose our consistency. The director role.
Mm.
All right. So there was no editing, but I do know the technical part that required me in order to stream.
Okay.
All right. So I did.
Oh, you
know-
would stream the whole thing.
I would stream the whole thing. I knew the process and how to actually do it and how to avoid it. The problem is there were issues every now and then. We lose frame, we lose connections.
Lighting was a problem.
Yeah.
Voice was
You
sometimes.
never know what issues you'll face on.
Technical issues were there.
But all in all, we managed to overcome all these Well, now we got a good podcast going, and alhamdulillah.
102, alhamdulillah,
Oh yeah,
counting.
102 episodes
Yeah.
and counting. Maybe we'll go for 200, 2,000.
Depend on you
No.
guys.
Yeah, I have to be back for 202. 'cause I feel like the two.
You can
thing
come.
is
You can
my
come
thing.
before that. Yeah, you can come
Right.
before that. No problem. You can come at 152.
You can come on 103. You can come on all of them, man.
This is-
really.
this is
We're
your-
happy
your
to have you,
platform,
for
no
real.
problem.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thank
yeah.
you.
So coming back.
What-
to,
yeah,
coming
what
back.
were we talking
yeah, we
about?
just
The longest
deviated.
duration of our, the longest duration we've ever had.
Yeah.
I'd say it was that one.
Okay.
I thought it was Game of Thrones.
No.
We've done
The boys.
Okay.
no, not the one with you.
No, the boys one was the longest.
You sure?
Yeah.
I think.
But I've seen that. It was
No, but I
3
think it was.
3 hours and 15
I
minutes.
think it was Game of Thrones. I don't remember because we did also a Game of Thrones one. Where we discussed literally entire 8 seasons of Game of Thrones
In one sitting.
in one setting.
Including the last one, which sucks.
No, we had to mention the last one. How fast they were, the pace was on the last one.
Was it big? It's because they had to create material because the books were not finished at the time.
But there were so many comic arcs. They did not finish it off. Arya's arc was the worst. They butchered her
But
arc.
is it because there's nothing to work with? Because
That's-
like the source material.
But
it's not
the
even
HBO,
there.
But the HBO studio guys who are telling these people, okay, you can take 8 episodes. Why did they go for 5 or 4, 6 episodes? How can you wrap it up and
Yeah.
just
Don't
6
forget-
It
episodes?
was also a commercial. I'm sure a commercial.
Not
reason.
to mention that these actors relied on their income
Yes.
from these shows.
Yeah.
And you're talking about commercialism.
And the goof ups with the can and everything on the studio, they were so unprofessional about it. Have you
How?
seen the leaks? The
No,
cans
it's
are available on the
it's
table.
What do you mean
HBO.
cans?
Oh, I meant the
soda
coffee
can,
cup.
the soda cans were already lying on the table
No,
side of
you
the
meant the
table.
coffee cup.
The coffee cup, the
coffee
mug
In-
was on the.
on
Yeah, have you not seen
Yeah,
it?
it was in
No.
season 7 or 8.
The last season.
And it was season 8. Well, a coffee mug. Was,
When they were shooting the last scene where Brian was, they chose Brian to Bran to be the king.
Yes.
The Bran the Broken.
Yes.
There was literally a water bottle lying here, a plastic bottle near the
apparently it's an
table.
In
HBO.
frame.
In the frame.
It was
Wow.
an HBO trend apparently because they also did it in Last of Us.
Yes.
Where the
But Last of Us makes sense if there's what? Yani,
no. It was when it was the sound team was apparently in the
They got the boom mic inside.
yeah they
the
got a
frame.
boom mic. You were able to see them off a bridge, a snow bridge or something like that. But it was so far away. How they caught them is amazing. You know, they're like this small. They're like ants. How were the fans able to catch them?
Why?
It's like, dude, do you have so much free time? Do you
They-
want to catch
That's
mistakes by
unprofessional, That's
HBO?
unprofessional. They kind of don't care about it anymore.
Dude, okay, the coffee mug, that one I get. But you do not notice
The guy.
the audio team this small from
People notice
from a bridge.
But people notice
Yeah.
everything. They notice
were
everything.
Because
like
it's streaming, you
ants.
can pause at any time. You know.
it was just but it was they're like ants from that distance. If you see them on screen, they were like ants.
What did you think of the show, though?
I have not seen it.
Did you play the game?
I have not played it.
The first season.
And that's why this episode is over now. How can you not? Yani,
Hey, listen.
The
I don't-
Last of Us. You have not played The Last of Us.
the
Not
last of
one,
us,
not
part two was finished for me when they.
For me,
After that-
Did you just like spoil
I don't
the
like that.
entire?
It came 5 years.
realize
5
that
years
it's
ago,
the-
man. Everybody knows about
I mean,
it.
they just
were
remake
you,
it.
Were you? Did you not play it on purpose?
Yes, I did not play it on.
He don't like third person and first.
No,
Ah, okay.
I do like third person. I just don't like guns.
He don't like guns. He's against guns.
Then play stealth mode. Like, don't kill anyone. You can just like.
You want me to play a zombie game where I don't kill anybody?
Yes, you can. I mean, you can kill people, but you don't have to shoot them. You can use
Katana.
arrows.
Katana.
You can use your baseball bat.
A baseball bat?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a baseball
You can
bat
be
that you,
Negan.
that you modify
You
to
can
have
be-
nails on.
You can be Negan in
Isn't
that.
isn't that like Walking Dead?
Yeah, Negan.
Well, yeah, Last of Us is basically coming from the zombie renaissance from The Walking Dead.
Okay. But I still won't play it. The story.
It's an amazing. Okay,
It's the thing is that particular game is an agenda game. The idea was, I'll say it.
we are
I
going
don't
in the wrong way.
It was
like,
the.
put up for hot take.
all right. the creator or I don't know, the CEO.
Neil Druckmann.
He did say that.
What did he say?
He said that apparently games are meant to be agendas or something like that. You can fact check me if you want.
I mean, if we're gonna like dive deep into what game creators do or say, I mean, we're not gonna play anything.
Yeah. But later on, they all made games as part of agendas.
But like, yeah, I understand the thought process, but this game is like very,
Very good, yeah, it's very
influential
good.
to like video game culture, and
Naughty Dog in general, they are
they've
the
been-
pioneers in this.
Okay, Naughty Dog is good,
Yeah.
but so is Sucker Punch.
Ah, yes.
All right,
they made the infamous games, correct? Yeah.
Ghost of Tsushima and Ghost of Yote. Also to
Yes,
come.
yes, yes.
All right.
You obviously played Ghost of Tsushima because it has
Obviously.
swords.
Obviously.
So you're like this
I like-
samurai, Almuhannadi samurai. يعني.
Oh, I was in one podcast. I was a guest. This guy called me the Qatari samurai.
Okay, that's cool.
Oh yeah.
And since today he can't sleep without
So,
finding this clip.
oh, that's like the
The epitome of
Hall
his
of
life.
Fame,
Yeah.
yeah. Claim to fame.
That's epitome.
Hey,
He goes to
hey,
bed,
the people of
I'm the
Qatar-
Qatari samurai.
the
We should
people-
Photoshop you into like
Look, the people
Goats of Al-Khor
Yeah.
or something.
that okay, that was.
Good one, good one.
I'm not gonna lie, that might happen. But believe me, the people of Qatar know me like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, the kendo guy they call me
Yeah.
as well. Oh yeah.
Because remember when you told me earlier over
Yeah.
the phone, I remember there was I didn't know what it was called at the time, kendo.
Yeah.
So I remember there was this Qatari guy doing this, and I'm like, "Whoa, that's cool." And now I met you, so
How do you feel after meeting him?
Do I need to say
get me out of here! No, I'm just kidding.
So what are your thoughts on this season? going on?
So I've played the games.
Hmm.
I've recently played Last of Us 2
Okay.
on the
PC?
remastered.
The PC or PlayStation?
No, PlayStation.
If you want to have the full experience,
I'm not a
We
PC
get it,
guy.
we get it.
Like
you want PC.
I don't have time
Stop
to
with your
like.
PC Master Race crap. Seriously.
Master Race.
I mean, I would love to, but I don't have the. I mean, I
High-end
don't
PC.
want to put the investment
Acha,
in a
okay.
PC.
Okay.
Um,
In a plastic box you want to play. Okay.
yeah, I can plug my PlayStation to the TV and I can play on my couch. You know, I'm happy. I don't. I tried playing on a monitor.
Okay.
It's just it's too much. Like,
Yeah, it's bad for
Yeah.
the back too.
yeah.
No.
I would always. I need
take
to
that.
kick my
Here,
feet
You can
up.
have a keyboard and mouse and you can sit on the couch and play with it.
Oh my god.
Shut it.
I need to kick my feet up. I'm not gonna be
You
like
can kick
because
your
I'm
feet
at
like
work
this.
all day.
Yeah, same.
I'm at work all
Same.
day.
I have
I
to
don't
keep my
want to
feet up too,
replicate the
man.
experience. Yeah,
Okay.
I don't want to replicate
Yeah,
the experience.
we gotta sit on the chair. We gotta have our feet up. You gotta, and you want to play like this. You had to have distance between you and this TV. Shh.
It's just too much. Like,
Right.
if I'm playing on PC, it would be with a controller.
Oh yeah, sure.
But I feel like maybe that defeats the purpose. But anyway, going back,
Yeah.
Last of Us. I really love the game. Game mechanics, game
Yes.
story, even the graphics, cinematography, and all of that.
Yeah.
I have a problem with the casting for the series.
Yes.
And in
Yes.
terms, hold on.
Agreed.
In terms of,
So in the first game you play as Joel,
yes,
and in the second
Ellie.
game you play as Ellie. That is the companion of the first game.
right.
Both of these characters have become very
Iconic.
you develop a very deep connection
Iconic,
with them
yes.
as you're playing. You know, the game is over 60 hours,
Of course.
and going into the show, like I don't see the character of Ellie being faithfully kind of like displayed or
connect-
projected by she was amazing in Game of Thrones.
She was amazing.
Yeah,
Yes, agreed.
I forgot her name.
Yeah.
Wasn't she the one that
The lady Ramsey, huh?
the bear?
The Ramsey, the king in the north. She shouted
she's
at the table.
she's the child
Child.
king,
Yeah,
the queen.
from Bear Island, I think. She was in
No,
Bear
no.
Island.
I'm not.
But Ramsey, something like
No, she
that.
wasn't a ram. No, that.
Her real name, I don't remember her real name, because she goes by they them.
She's a Mormont.
Mormont. Yes.
She's a
And the
Mormont.
speech-
And she stabbed the,
And the speech that she gave was on point and so much.
Yes, and she had a really cool
So
heroic
great, yes.
moment towards the end when she stabbed the giant White
Yes,
Walker. It was really cool. Best Anna, I have an issue with the casting for her as Ellie. They didn't hit a home run. Pedro was amazing.
Yeah.
I would have loved to see, honestly, Troy Baker to actually relive that role.
Yes.
Because he has acted on
And he has
screen
lived that
before.
role. He has lived that
He's
role.
lived that role, and I feel like he
Yeah.
would do such a good job. And I don't want to talk about likeness,
The face
actually,
expression,
because movies or it doesn't matter. I'm worried about was performance, and I don't get it from this new girl. So I only watched season 1, season 2, the new one that just came out.
Yes.
It's still going on, right?
Five episodes just come out.
Yeah, so I didn't get to see it yet, but I've heard from my friends that Abby is not being faithfully represented.
Yes.
She is not the same as build-wise.
But build-wise is not the same. But what I liked about this, that the arc that they have given her
It's
is much
different.
better than the game.
But yeah, the whole I agree honestly with Abby. I feel like Abby is not. She didn't start the violence.
Yes, sir. She avenged for her father's death, obviously, which is the human
Exactly.
nature.
So, because I recently replayed the game and I'm seeing the events. Ellie is the villain here, but she's also the main character.
Yeah.
So as a player, as a person playing the game, and I'm forced to
do-
press
Yeah.
square to commit
Yes.
these.
And
These
social
are
acts,
murders.
yes.
These are murders, and I don't feel okay. And I remember, if you remember the hospital scene, I had to let go
You
of
have
the
to- you
controller
have to kill
because
him.
I wanted this sequence to end, but they didn't allow me another choice. I had to press square
Yeah.
to
Kill the
literally,
doctor. Kill the doctor.
you know what I mean?
This is why I like the interactive drama games. It's because you are allowed choices.
Yeah,
Now they're like playing a movie. You get different multiple endings.
yeah,
But
like the Fallout series and
and
these kinds of
let's say
games.
Detroit Become Human. All right.
You can make choices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Man
okay,
of Medan.
Is it the horror game?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Until Dawn, the movie just came out.
Until
That is
Dawn.
also.
Yeah. Heavy Rain.
Yes.
What else? Beyond Two Souls.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Skyrim, the Elder
Yeah,
Scrolls,
yes,
you
RPG.
have a lot of liberty in how the story goes.
There are
The Fallout
multiple
series,
endings. The Witcher series,
Oh, yeah.
Witcher as well.
Yes.
Witcher as well, particularly because
Cyberpunk.
Cyberpunk,
There's multiple
endings.
directions that you can go about one thing, and I
Yeah.
feel like that is really cool. But going back to Last of Us, the experience or the feeling I had, I feel like it's so unique. Films can't give you that. The feeling of I have huge problems with this main character. Okay, I don't want to take this to another direction, but as a civilization, as humanity, we have went from Tetris to that hospital scene in Last of Us, and I feel like the games have progressed so much that they are now giving me this crazy emotional experience with a video game character. I have to press square to kill this innocent person, and it's a cutscene, and you can't if you
skip
remember
it.
it was so
Yeah.
intense, the red light, the blood, and with every breath.
You just kind of blindly fire it at everyone in the room.
Yeah, but if you contrast that with God of War, if you remember in the end of 3, where you had
You
to
kill
literally
Zeus.
kill Zeus.
Oh, yeah.
But it's motivating. It's
Satisfying.
motivated.
there's a
It's very
difference.
satisfying.
There's a big difference.
Yeah.
Zeus deserved it. Zeus
And
deserved
also
it.
you are rooting for Kratos, and you've been
Oh, yeah.
following his journey. This is the end of his journey. He has to go forward.
That was my next question about
sorry.
God of War. They were developing a TV series for this also, God of War.
Yeah, they're
Then they
doing the
dropped
same.
the idea. They have cancelled it now. So do you
They
think
have.
this was the reason that people backlash for Last of Us, that they couldn't connect with it? They couldn't justify God of War 2?
Listen, the transition between video game to screen has always been weird.
Oh yeah.
If you remember Mortal Kombat, Street
Street Fighter was,
they were always strange.
yeah.
Only Last of Us actually managed to do something meaningful
With season 1.
With season 1,
Yes.
but also if you've seen the Pokemon animation,
Yes.
Pokemon the Mewtwo film, the first one was insane.
Detective Pikachu also good.
was an interesting
Yeah, it was a good take.
experiment, to be honest. It's really
Yeah.
cool. It's a deviation
From the main
line. It's different enough that it's cool on its own. But what Last of Us did was really interesting because it brought high production value, high budgets to an IP.
Even Fallout,
usually the
even
budgets are small.
Fallout series was also good. The first season was
Fallout
was
actually.
great.
Yeah, thank you for reminding me.
Yeah.
Fallout, the show, was really cool.
Very, very
to be
good. It was
honest,
very near
it
to the game.
captured the
Essence of the game.
quirkiness. Yeah, the
Yes.
quirkiness of the series. To
Yeah.
be honest, it's not. I feel like it's not yet exactly what Fallout feels like,
Yeah.
but it's going in a really cool direction
Good, yes.
where it's a really effed up world, but you can still laugh about some situations that are going
They
on.
are the basics they have taken from the game, but they are going in a great direction, which you can see that it can go for some seasons now.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys watched Silo.
Silo, yes.
So Silo, the series, it's an app on Apple
Plus.
TV Plus. It feels similar to Fallout, where you have a society.
Dystopian future?
Yeah, it's a dystopian future, but they live in bunkers.
Mm.
They live in this silo, and you have the same thing with Fallout, where you have people living
Yes.
underground.
Yes.
But the direction of Fallout is you follow the main character as they leave. But then Silo is like, no, you know
You have to
more
be
about
inside.
the internal dynamics, the politics of this society that's trapped for like 100 years.
Talking about the game's adaptation, what do you think about Borderland movie? Have you watched it?
I am not a big fan of Borderlands to begin with. I only played, I think, 3, and I didn't.
That
watch
was
the
one of the
film.
best one. 3 was
Yeah,
one of the
they
best
say it's,
one.
but I'm not like, I didn't resonate honestly with that. Yani, I felt like, okay, this is another first-person shooting game, looter shooter. Because I at the time Destiny was popular, so I'm
Okay.
like, I'd rather stick with Destiny. Feels more polished anyway
Yes.
than Borderlands. But their direction that they went for the film is interesting because they got super high end cast.
But it sucked.
Kevin Hart.
It was sucked
Kate
so
Blanchett.
bad.
Oh,
the end,
Yes.
the end result.
It was so bad.
Barely good.
Is it connected to the game in any way?
They just took the character and butchered it.
High-end character?
In the first 10
Yeah.
minutes, you are so bored that you'll just.
Let's see for example, what was the box office of
Yeah,
the
you can
movies?
check its numbers,
All right.
but the cast is
It was
crazy.
so good.
Yeah. It's always cool to see big money going
Alright.
behind films.
In terms of IMDb, it got 4.7
Mm.
out of 10.
Yeah.
IGN 3. Right? But IGN's
But
And
It's
IGN
very
gives 9,
low.
8 to everybody. Huh? They give a third 3.
all right. So
Think how bad it
But
was.
now they're
So
making the fourth game.
oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Their idea was to announce the 4th game when it came
You
out.
might want to hear this.
What?
So the budget of the movie was 110 to 120
And-
million dollars.
And how much it got back?
33.
طبعاً, obviously that's the budget for the film, but then they're not counting marketing. That was also in
Yeah.
the hundred of
I mean,
millions.
depends if they were counting.
Minecraft
marketing.
movie is killing it.
See, I didn't grow up on Minecraft. to be
Even
honest.
I don't connect.
So
with it.
like
Let's see Minecraft.
It
It's
is
killing it. It's
the
going to cross
highest
Mario Brothers.
selling IP as we speak.
Yes.
Film. يعني right now it's doing so well.
It's going to
That
cross
is
to
what
Mario
is-
Brothers is the best one till
Oh
now.
boy,
Yeah.
this is impossible.
Why?
So the budget's 150,
Huh.
but it's already got 910
910
million.
And it's going to cross the best animated
probably
game
because of the-
adaptation is
I
Mario
think it's
Brothers.
because of the references,
Yeah.
the gaming references that were in the movie. A lot of gaming references. Also, people were kicked out.
Why?
Yeah, because I mean
The chicken thing?
Yeah.
Because they're
Ah.
throwing popcorn and
Yes.
causing havoc. I've
They're
seen
so
some videos.
excited.
It's pretty
They're so
insane.
excited.
Police were told to escort them out, and security were told to
That's
escort
bad.
them out.
Yeah.
Enjoy the movie. Don't
Com-
destroy it.
It's the I don't know if it's the Gen Z.
They
It's
can
the
get
Gen
out
Z,
of
you know.
control.
But
I mean-
I don't think Gen Z grew up. Did they grow up on Minecraft when Minecraft
I don't think
came out?
that's
Yeah.
after the generation
Yeah, they
after
did.
that.
They did. They go crazy. I don't know, allow me to say apeshit on Minecraft.
Millennials are the most educated, I think.
Hmm?
Millennials are the most educated in this matter.
Well,
We have our crazy moments. Like you remember when you watched what's it called, Endgame? Like everyone went nuts. We all went nuts.
And when Captain America got
actually,
the hammer,
I went nuts when
Whoa.
Deadpool first came out. Deadpool,
our first
the
one,
first Deadpool.
the leaked clip.
All right, I was so mad when he told me go home. Like,
movie
No, yeah. To
yeah.
the post-credit scene.
Yes.
yeah, the post-credit scene was like, you son of a.
Ferris
And,
Bueller's Day Off.
everybody was like, I was organizing a gathering between me and my friends, all right, and it was like 20 people. We all went together to see Deadpool,
Okay.
Nice.
all right, and when the post-credit scene finally came out, I said, go home.
It was so.
And everybody was like holding me back. It's like, you son of a, I came all this way and I want to see that post-credit. And then it was like, then the cable thing came out. And like,
2002, yeah.
oh yeah. Then the second part saying cable's gonna be the next one. Really? Okay, sure, why not? That's something.
And he did show up.
He did show up. Good representation too. I mean, but I have to say, between MCU and the Fox version, you know, he was Cable and Thanos,
Yes.
Yes.
the actor.
Oh.
You know, I have to say, it was like quite the commitment
There's a lot of actors that were overlapping, yeah.
between Fox and Disney.
Hatta, like, if you remember, like, Steve Rogers, you know,
Oh, yeah.
Chris
He
Evans
was-
was Human Torch.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was before the.
But I think that was Fox as well.
yeah,
That was Fox.
it
Yeah.
was Fox.
But
You
it
said-
was not part of
but
the
it-
X-Men continuity.
It was it was.
It was way
Fantastic
back in
Four on its own,
2005 or
and-
6, I guess.
Exactly. It was before the establishment of the MCU itself.
Yes.
Yeah, it was,
MCU started with Iron Man in 2008.
and I think it was 2006 or 7
Yeah,
that
yeah.
Silver Surfer came
Fantastic Four, yeah.
out. Yeah, and still it was not part of it, and yet they put him in there, you know, as part of the dying of Fox.
But the worst was one 2015 Fantastic Four. Have you watched that?
oh yeah,
That was
barely,
so bad.
I barely.
Doctor Doom was like a Joker in that.
Yeah, it was a very strange film, to be honest.
I don't know who the writer
I'm-
was. Has he seen Doctor Doom once? How he looked like?
Even if he has not seen what Doctor Doom looks like,
He's
the
such an
actors
iconic, yeah.
most likely have seen
Would
the
have heard
first
it,
Fantastic
yes.
Four, so they know at least.
How did it look like? Or how his appearances?
Because in comic book, it was always established that Doctor Doom has had scars in his face, hence the mask. I mean, people, accuracy. There's a reason. But no,
Speaking of Marvel, today Ironheart trailer dropped
I didn't
for the
see it yet.
series. And I'm so let down by this Disney Plus series. They are just coming left and right. The last one good was Loki. And after
Loki
that,
was really cool.
yeah,
Well,
after that I don't feel like
WandaVision was
watching
nice.
them.
yeah, but they killed Wanda now, so.
Is she really dead?
I can
No,
never
there are
tell.
so many multiverses now that you can't.
But we never got to see like Wanda Maximoff and Magneto.
Yeah, that's a comic arc. you know.
Yeah.
But they didn't touch
that's her
it. Yeah.
dad, you
They
know,
maybe-
right?
they
And
maybe
you know,
will
the
touch it.
problem is you know what the problem is? They put her and Pietro as Sokovians.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in X-Men
were-
97, they had done it. Magneto and in X-Men, the animated series.
Yeah.
Did Wanda show up in X-Men 97? No,
no, she did
um,
not. She did not.
She's not in X-Men. She's not in the X-Men animated series. Not as far as I know.
She was.
I
think-
recently watched the 97
Yeah.
I
animation.
think she was in.
No, no, it
but-
was
she was
sorry.
in Evolution. X-Men Evolution.
Oh, I didn't see that one.
Yeah, where they were like all in high school basically,
Oh.
and like the Brotherhood had their own dorm apparently, and the
Yes, the opposite. Yes,
and the
X-Men used to
Xavier
have
had
their own
their own
students.
It's kind of funny from time to time, and then they all get into like these coexisting situations of like maybe we can be friends.
But
Seriously.
they
Maybe we can
backstab
friends.
them.
Maybe
then
we can be friends when we are not killing each other. You know.
common to fight the common enemy.
Seriously, there's so much cheesy high school crap. I like to say, really
I used to watch that so much back in the day.
cheesy high school crap.
Yeah,
No,
like
that was-
X-Men for X-Men.
It was
so
literally
cool.
the only thing you can actually watch.
like Spider-Man. Okay,
It felt relatable.
the Fox
way.
Fox Kid Spider-Man. It was so cool.
Oh, that one was the best Spider-Man
So
ever.
fun.
Fox Kids Spider-Man?
Yeah,
The old one, 92 or 93, I think.
Like
It
the
came
old
out-
animated series?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
So
The one
it
with
was
Black Cat,
it
or-
was also
the one
cheesy,
with
right?
Black Cat. Yeah,
It was also cheesy.
Oh, yeah.
It's Mary
That was
Jane.
original
and,
Spider-Man.
Yeah, so good.
you know, and you can relate to that because Tobey Maguire later on became
He
that
became
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man, and he's the original Spider-Man.
Remember that wrestling scene?
Yes.
Yeah, when it's that's a nice dress. Did your husband make it for you? I'll never forget it. It looked like classic Spider-Man. Even before he was
Yeah.
Spider-Man, he called himself the
Man-Spider?
Human Spider.
Human
The
Spider.
human spider, and then
But they
the announcer
change
was
the
like,
name, yeah.
Yeah, well, Bruce
Not
Campbell.
working. Yeah, not
yeah.
working.
So, I have a daring question because you know you're a film guy. You're a gamer, so I'm gonna ask, what is your top? I see,
What's your favorite movie?
and your favorite game.
Okay, so let's start with games. So
Game.
game.
One singular.
Yeah.
I think it's
And
last
you're
one,
gonna have
but
to.
okay.
No, hold on. He's got to think really
Can
hard.
I just say like what is my recent favorite? Because like there is this one game that I have in mind, and that is right now like what I'm playing and thinking about a lot.
All right.
It's not gonna be favorite game of all time.
Right.
But recent past.
Yeah, so it would have to be Metaphor Rifantasio. Metaphor Rifantasio is an Atlas game. It's a what they call a Japanese RPG.
Ah.
So like I'm a big like RPG guy. Like I grew up on, you know, the Final Fantasy series, Valkyrie Profile, and then also there's this Konami had an RPG game which was called Suikoden. And that was
That
a
one, yeah.
game that I kind of like grew up on. It's my favorite franchise.
Turn-based.
Yes, turn-based is like
There's
my
one more
bread and
from,
butter.
I can't recollect, there's one more from Atlas. Is they ported
Persona?
to Persona, yeah.
Yeah, Persona 5 is
Yes.
because I didn't get to play the Persona games. I only got to play 5 a few years ago when it came out. But now I'm playing Metaphor, which is their new IP,
okay.
because they have Digital Devil Saga, Shin Megami Tensei,
Hmm.
and Shin Megami Tensei, and then Persona.
Okay.
And their new thing is Metaphor, Rifantasio, which kind of like brings all of the lessons learned in these games into this new IP. And I've been playing it for a while. I would stop just so that, you know, I take my time with it,
Hmm.
and I would finish other games. Actually, I recently stopped to play Star Wars Outlaws. I was telling you on the chat.
Yeah.
I finished Star Wars Outlaws, and now I'm back to Metaphor.
Would you recommend Star Wars Outlaws? I just wanna.
So, Star Wars Outlaws is a very interesting game. If
Yeah.
you are a fan of the world
I am.
of Star Wars, so this game takes place before Episode 4.
So it's
The Last Hope.
So it's during the time of the Empire.
Yes. So you
Okay.
play in the time when the rebels are now kind of like
Regrouping.
making their movements, but you play as this outlaw girl. So imagine it's GTA/Assassin's Creed type of game, where you are an outlaw. You can do these like heists and infiltration missions. There's a lot of like gunplay. I mean, you're not gonna like
yeah.
that.
I'll sacrifice so I can play a Star Wars.
Okay,
game.
great. So what's really
That's
cool?
breaking the code. You can't break the code.
Hey man, I can.
He's
It's my
breaking
code.
it live.
It's my code.
Live,
I
yes.
can. It's
He's
my
breaking
code.
it live.
I can break it if I want to.
You guys are hearing this.
Right.
So what's really cool is you get to see the crime syndicates in the Star Wars universe. You
get
meet
so you
the
get to
bounty.
so you get to interact with the Hutts.
yes. So you
Okay.
actually get to meet Jabba the Hutt
Of
and
course.
work with the Hutt cartel, as well as the Crimson Dawn, the Pike Syndicate, as well as the Ashiga clan.
These guys were highly noticed in what do you call it? The Book of Boba Fett.
Oh, okay. Because
Oh,
he
yeah.
had to deal with them.
Yeah, he had to deal with them. He had to
Okay.
get control over him after he got rid of the Hutts.
Okay.
If they made Boba Fett as the lady who's playing the character, it might be more
But he
interesting.
has a gun, yani.
Oh, what now?
If they introduce Boba Fett in Outlaws as a playable character,
Oh,
it would be interesting.
it would be interesting. They actually did make his. Actually,
They had a
his,
game plan before.
Actually, no, they had his dad, Jango Fett.
The Book of Boba Fett. Yes, about Django
No,
Fett.
he said would if they had. Sorry.
Boba Fett
Boba
introduced
Fett. As a
as
main
a playable
character?
character, yeah.
And Outlaws. Actually, that would have been a good introduction.
It would be cool, but if you play the game, it's they mention Boba Fett actually.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
So they have to. It's
Actually, Star Wars Outlaws is after episode 4. Why? Because you go to Jabba the Hutt and you see in his corner Han Solo frozen.
Ah,
And
okay.
they-
He's
So they
there.
did
carbonite.
Okay.
So,
He's frozen
so
there.
Boba Fett is there.
Mm.
More.
Yeah, he's mentioned if you walk around if you walk around Tatooine, and what's it got, Mos Eisley, and then you can hear some of the
Conversations going on.
pedestrians just talking about there's this hunter emotional. It's really cool. But yeah, anyway, so Star Wars Outlaws, I would give it like a solid 6, to be honest, because of this. There's a lot of repetition in some of the missions.
It's Ubisoft.
It's Ubisoft.
It
You
is,
can't.
yeah. But what really stands out is the story that you get to experience,
Yeah.
the people you get to meet.
The main story.
Yeah, the main story is it's really cool. Again, in the beginning you struggle to care about Kay Vess, the main character. She has no connection to you don't get to see Jedi actually at all in this
Or
game.
Force users.
Yeah, you don't see any Force user, and I don't think I've seen a lightsaber.
It's just kind of
I think maybe during that
These
time the Jedi have actually been
order 66.
eradicated.
Actually,
yeah.
Order 66
the
was
Great
in-
Purge, the Great Jedi Purge of
Yeah.
Order 66.
Yeah.
Since it happened, I mean, they're
They
like
were underground.
they're in hiding now. Oh yeah.
Yes, that's true. They're in hiding, so you don't actually meet any of them. But what's really cool is you navigate the crime syndicates. You raise there's a system of reputation between these crime syndicates. So if you raise your ranking, let's say with the Hutts, you're able to enter the Hutt headquarters in various planets.
Are these syndicates against each other?
Yes, they're all against each other. So
okay, so you can only be loyal to one crime syndicate.
you can actually raise all of the reputation to all crime syndicates. But here's the
without
kicker.
knowing one.
It's not that difficult. It's actually not that difficult, but the issue is many of the missions that you have to do will damage your reputation with other clans. But you can gather these data cards, basically information. You can sell information to a specific clan, and then that will raise reputation without
You
harming.
can keep it neutral among all.
Yes,
You can keep everyone happy.
Yes.
That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's a really cool system, to be honest. I didn't care about the pikes in the beginning, but I ran into a lot of problems because many of the main missions take you through areas
connected to them.
Yeah. So when you enter, they're already alerted because you're not a friend of ours. My reputation is either bad or poor.
So that's a good mechanic. That's a good mechanic.
It's really dynamic, really cool, because it really helped you if you are, let's say, have a really good standing with, let's say, the Crimson Dawn, and then one of the mission requires you to steal something from their vaults, but because they trust you, they're not gonna shoot you on sight.
Okay.
So you're able to
Penetrate
get your
inside.
item. Yeah, you can you have a little creature,
Yeah, that's cute,
side character, and you can send him to fetch items for you.
That's good.
Yeah.
Just like how they have
BB.
eagles
In Assassin's Creed.
and distract
Enemies,
in
yes,
Assassin's Creed.
exactly.
Speaking of turn-based games, Obscure.
Hold on. We're still in.
Okay.
Yeah, so we talked about
So now we talked about your favorite game.
yes,
Alright.
which is Metaphor Fantasio.
All right, now let's hear what is your favorite movie. Keep in mind you're being recorded now, so if you're asked again, you will be quoted.
Favorite film.
Yes,
It's a
Of all time.
very, very, very hard question.
and you.
You
will
didn't even give
confirm.
me like top 4.
Well, at least of the top 4 that you've already had, what was the top 1 that is wowed you till today?
Make it a little easier. Top 3, you can say.
I mean, no. It's got to be one, man. He's got to really think hard on it.
Can I say my options and then pick one?
Okay.
You can do that. Yeah.
Okay, so movies that come to mind: Arrival,
Okay.
Interstellar.
Okay, that's good.
They're all like space films.
Yeah.
You want to go to space?
I do actually. I really want to be sent on that Mars mission.
Elon Musk? Please sponsor.
Take me. I'm a willing candidate.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's another space film.
2001: A Space Odyssey.
Yeah, I was gonna say that, but I'm like, I need to move away from that genre. Man, that's so difficult. can't pinpoint. There's so many great ones out there.
And they're all space, I'm guessing.
No. So actually, I would say one of the most influential films out there, and it's one of my top films, is Akira.
Akira, the anime movie. Okay.
I recently watched it actually with a friend who did not watch the film. So it was an amazing experience to see him like blown away by the film. It's one of the, actually it's the only film I have on Blu-ray.
Have they made Akira in live action, right?
No, maybe,
they
but
never will.
maybe in Japanese.
Battle Angel, Akira Battle Angel?
No,
That's Alita.
Alita, yeah. Akira,
much different.
it's
Mutation, horror, something.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Alita is more mecha.
Okay.
based.
Yes.
Yes,
So Akira is a very old film, and it influenced a lot of anime, films and series, as well as video games. So if you remember Final Fantasy VII, the whole bike sequence
Yes.
is a whole Akira thing,
Okay.
because the film starts as
With the bike.
as a bike sequence. But Akira is let me get the year, because it's before the 80s.
Could be. What? No.
Actually, no, it's
Late-
88. Sorry,
88?
it's 88.
That was late 90s.
So you're talking about
early 90s.
a film that was made in 88
36, 37 years old.
and influenced many other films. One of the most, it's not a huge plot or kind of element, but the bike sequence. So if you just write Akira bike scene, and then there's a video that talks about, actually no, didn't talk, it just shows you the sequences, Akira bike scene over the years. So other animation
They try to replicate
series that replicate that specific bike slide.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really cool. But Akira, I think,
All time.
yeah, I mean right now, because since I'm on the spot
Yeah,
and I have to
sorry.
pick, it's Akira right now.
I would agree. It's an odd choice, but honestly, yeah.
I really like dark films, to be honest. Like when a film goes really deep into existential themes, it connects. Maybe revealing some of my messed up.
No, we all are messed up. That's why we're sitting all together.
Speak it for yourself, man.
No, I know what you think.
The darker the better.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
We connect on that level. So
All right.
with that,
Honestly, I quite enjoyed this episode. I really enjoyed this episode, and we hope to have you again, man. You're
Yeah.
always.
Inshallah, I feel like there's a lot to talk about. We're only
There's-
scratching the surface.
Oh,
this
there's-
is just the tip of the iceberg.
Well, this was a real nice deep dive into the film industry here in Qatar. Thank you, Salman, for giving us a great insight on the film industry here in Qatar, and we got to know you a little bit more. You know, it's good to have like a film buff, not to mention film industry person here on the podcast. This was the second time that we actually had someone from the industry, you know, and you gave us more into like how it looks here in Qatar, and hopefully it will get better. It will inshallah get better. You know, not everything, you know, it starts. Sure, it starts difficult.
Momentarily, it will
Everything is
move,
difficult,
yes.
but at the beginning, but later on it becomes easier. No,
And I feel like it's one of the main takeaways I guess we can have here is like support
That's the main
local
motive,
filmmakers,
yes.
or at least get exposed to some of these local stories, whether it's here or in Saudi. I feel like it gives you an opportunity to see what kind of voices are out there, what kind of stories are coming out of our region. And I feel like that's important to support this rising industry, because like this is just one last thing. If you remember the Squid Games and Parasite film, these are huge Korean films. Right now the race is on for the next Arab hit, and Qatar is participating in that, Saudi is participating, Egypt, all of these other Arab countries, which everyone is trying to make the next big Arab hit film. And I think if more people pay more attention to films that are made in this region,
We
I
hope
think
we are leading the way.
yeah. At least we're gonna be on a track to have quote unquote an industry, because I feel like right now it's a movement.
all right then. Let's hope we actually get it.
Yes.
I mean, really, I would like to see something from the entertainment industry being done for Qatar, that we win something
Inshallah.
other than football.
I mean,
There's so much things
Qatari
other
films
than
win awards in like other film festivals, but nothing that the public knows about, because it's usually between
On that
filmmakers.
level,
Yeah,
it's not
yeah,
reached on
yeah,
that
yeah,
level
yeah.
so far.
It
Yeah.
has to, man.
Yeah.
One day. So, thanks for watching, and we had a nice conversation with Salman here. Honestly, would love to have you over again.
Inshallah.
Yeah, it was great, and it was nice geeking out with you. Nice to get to know the film industry a little bit more, and great insight, honestly, from your side.
Thank you.
So we'll see you guys next week for another episode, another podcast from Qatartainment. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update from Qatartainment. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.